Okay, here's one. I'm not going to read this person's name because it's sort of a personal question, but they said, I'm not happy with my life. I feel like fitness could help me again, but no motivation to move ever. And this is it looks like a young man who's asking this question, or just sort of stating this. I'm not happy with my life. Feel like fitness could help, but no motivation to move ever. What do you think?
I completely agree with his intuition that fitness could help.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hear I'm not happy with my life and someone is completely sedentary, not working out at all, like not moving around at all. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Getting on a program is going to almost certainly make you feel better and get you into a state of momentum and teach you lessons that bleed into other areas of your life, into school, into work, into your personal relationships. And so I'm a huge fan of the idea that maybe I should start doing something, taking my fitness a little more seriously. Motivation is a feeling, right? Like if you want the result, you're going to have to do the thing regardless of how you feel about the thing. And there's good news here, and that is that like a boulder rolling, right? I'm Jordan's the analogy guy here, but I'm going for it. I'm diving in.
No, I can see where you're going with it. I like this one.
In your first week,
this is a powerful analogy.
Power analogy. In your first week of starting fitness back up, even in your second week or your third week of starting your fitness game back up, it's going to suck. You're not going to feel good. The workouts are going to be pretty torturous. You're going to be quite sore depending on the program, but even on like a moderate intensity and volume, you're going to be quite sore. You're not going to see any results in the mirror. The scale probably isn't going to do what you want it to do. You're not going to enjoy your training sessions. You're not going to feel the benefits yet. And so like a boulder that is stationary and you pushing it, like it's barely going to be going. It's going to be really hard. Eventually,
that's what she said.
Eventually, you're going to build some momentum. So you're going to start to get some feedback. You're going to the scale might be moving. You're going to see that like week to week, you're adding 2.5s, you're adding 5 pounds, you're getting stronger. You might start to have more energy. You might start to see the scale come down. You're going to be less sore. You're going to start feeling a bit more motivation. Not every day. Some days you're just not going to want to work out, even if you're 3 months into a program, and that's where discipline kicks in. But once you get momentum and once you start getting that boulder rolling, it starts to move a little bit on its own. So my advice would be to push through that sticky beginning period where you really, really don't want to do this, because after getting some of that positive feedback, you're very, very likely going to want to stick to the program.
Yeah, I love that. It's the truth. It's absolutely the truth, where the beginning sucks. It does. But you know what? The other thing about this is so interesting. And I know you know this just as well as I do. It's so, because as a coach, we see so many different types of people, right? So there's so many different types of clients and so many different things that work based on often the personality of the person. And I think the first coach I ever saw talk about differences in coaching and programming based on personality was Louis Simmons back in like the 90s. He had articles on this. It was just crazy. Far before anyone else I ever saw anyone talking about it. And there are some people who it's better for them to start really nice and slow, right? Go in, do a little bit of here, a slow habit build, whatever. But then on the other hand, there are other people who they go in and they go cold turkey and change everything in their life. And I feel like this is under-discussed in the science-based world, where it's like, well, no, it has to be slow, sustainable habits. And like, I talk about that all the time because I think for most people, that's generally the right way to go about it. But there's, I think, probably maybe 15% of people who, which is not insignificant, who do really well just like, hey, on a dime, I'm about to fucking change everything in my life. In this moment, right now, no longer doing this shit. I'm going to work out. I'm going to walk every day. I'm going to strength train 3 times a week. I'm going to have my power breakfast. And then like 50 years later, they're like, yeah, I just one day decided, right? And I think it's important to try and know yourself the best you can and to try and help your clients figure out what type of person they are. It was funny. I was in the gym. I was in the gym earlier this week, and there was a guy down there who I see maybe once every 2 to 3 months. I see him there, and he walked over to me. He's like, "Man, I feel like every time you see me, it's my day one back in the gym." He's like, I just can't stay consistent." And I had to talk with him, and I was like, "Listen, man, you have to remember that consistently good is better than inconsistently perfect." And he, like, watch it. It's funny because we say this all the time as coaches: consistently good is better than inconsistently perfect. We say it on social media, and we'll get likes or whatever and comments. But to see this guy's face drop as I said that, he was like, "Holy shit, man, I think you just changed my life," which will be interesting to see over the next few months, see if he gets in there more frequently. But I don't know. There's a lot to discuss here. But to answer this guy's question, it's, you're going to feel better. You know you are, and you're going to feel worse if you don't do it. You'll feel better if you do, and you feel worse if you don't. You have that knowledge. If you're waiting to get motivated, I don't know what to tell you.
Might be waiting a long time.
Just you will be. You're going to be waiting forever.
This is where I actually don't hate. Like, I go completely against the grain on the science-based stuff on here, on like, oh, motivational videos are bullshit, or like, I actually like giving yourself a spark early on. Like, you're laying in bed, whatever, like watching porn, jerking off in your mom's house, and you're 23 years old and you don't have a job and you're whatever, like, throw on an Eric Thomas, like, pump up video with some music track on the background and drag your ass to the gym and go get after it. Like, give yourself that fake motivation, or give yourself that feeling somehow. I don't know, put on a song, go to a place where you get that motivation. And you can't go there every single day because you're going to go back to baseline. But to get that spark, I like that idea.
I love that idea.
I completely agree with what you said, by the way. I think it's more than 15% of people who can go all in. Right? Like, I think the ultra tiny habits on the fitness front doesn't make sense, because you need to start seeing progress at some point to motivate you to keep going. And if you're doing, like, a serving of broccoli a day is you're spending a month on, and then you're focused on water for a month, and then you're focused on like an extra 1,000 steps for a month, right? Like that's the extreme of it. But you're going to quit because it's not enough. But even for the, call it 25, call it 50% of people who want to change on a dime and who can, like, their personality allows them to, and maybe it's not that high, maybe it is 15%. Even for those people, if they're not doing anything, we're not going to throw them into the deep end of like RPE 9s and 25 set workouts and like insane volume and intensity because they haven't been training. Like, we should still be programming them, even if they want to do quote unquote a lot, give them a lot in a way that is not going to where we're not going to over fatigue them past what the benefit would be of the training session or of that amount of volume.
Yeah. Yep. 100% agree.
But yeah, like, I think fitness is the best place to start for changing your life.